All right, hello, hello, hello. How's it going there, Sergeant? Let's see. This was from earlier in the day. I'm gonna work on a bunch of different builds, but that was from earlier in the day when I streamed, and so I use that as a picture. But not necessarily working the locomotive, but I want to make some train cars. I know it's super early, but did you use the rebuilt three-axle or do you make your own? It's the regular three-axle one for the train, I think. Let me see. I cannot actually recall, so let's look. Let's look at the D6. It's been a while, so. Let's see. It's my own. It's three independents, and then it has the motors on there. Yep, three independent axles. All right, so one thing I want to do here, I've got a bunch of builds. I couldn't think of what I wanted to work on. I wanted to do a workshop episode, and so played some career earlier in the day and kind of came up with some stuff that I want to do. Wrote down a bunch of notes. One thing is we have these cars, and I like them. They're good. They're small, which allows a little bit more flexibility. I like their design. The problem is if we start looking at how many bodies each car has, and then start putting the bodies together it's a ton. These move here. They are independent, which I could probably optimize them a little bit by making them not independent. But you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bodies per car, and so that leads to a lot of lag. So right here, you've got 24 bodies just in right here, and then for example, I took 9 of these out earlier, so 9 times 24 is 216 individual bodies just on the cars. And so that is quite excessive. So I'm going to look up some coal cars. Coal, train cars. So I'm going to look at some coal cars. I'm going to try to simplify this so that it's not as brutal when I spawn this stuff. I do like them. They're good for small operations, but they're giving me problems for big operations. Thinking something like this. I like the color scheme. Again, I'm going to use this, so probably leaning towards that. The benefit of this, too, is fewer cars, fewer parts. Like, for something like this, I can even use some XML. I don't even need to use XML because like these, you won't really see what's going on. So I can cut it down to have minimal bodies, and that's something I really want to do. Trying to find a design I like. I'm leaning towards this Union Pacific here. Yeah, it's cool to have opening doors and hatches and all that stuff, but it really does, bringing the train out, it's just like I said, it's 216 bodies minimum on that one build. So it's excessive. It's really excessive. I kind of like this from a functional standpoint. So, like for example, if we look at the area where you actually drop off the coal is not that wide. So, while making it something like this, I would generally want, which I can do pretty easily with the way the game's set up, something like this. I don't actually need to fall. Like literally, I could put it so that it looks like coal's gonna fall out of it and it doesn't. So. But I just want to make sure that, I pull the train up, put one car over the drop. What I might do is manually activate. So whether, because one thing I was having issues with earlier is, like, if I overshot or undershot, I was like, oh shit, I'm screwed. Where now what I can do is use that to my advantage, where some of these will be activated and some won't. So especially if I can do a common duct, that will be helpful. So a bunch of ideas there. Yeah, I'm leaning towards that Union Pacific one, and what I think I'm going to do is use the car as a basis, so something like... I don't know why my scroll wheel's been acting up. And then I should be able to get more coal per car, something like this, I'm thinking. All right, so let's use that as kind of a starting point, and then I'm going to go ahead and... All right, so here is the... We're going to start with this as the basis. I need to... let me see. All right, so I'm trying to look up Wikipedia coal hopper car here. And that way I'm trying to get some dimensions. I want to get it. How's it going there, Jay? Good to see you. Let's see. I want to kind of see dimensionally. Two-bay hopper car. This kind of looks nice. I like this one. I'm trying to find dimensions. Uh, 51 and 57 feet. Standard coal car length is 53 feet 1 inch, so that makes sense. That's what a trailer is. So that's kind of that's good info there. And I want to use this one as kind of the basis and stretch it so that I can undo it. So what we're going to do here is first start by saving this as coal hopper car 53. All right, coal hopper car 53. We'll start with that. $16 meters. That's what we're looking for here. At the center? I can't tell. All right, so we want 16.15, so we'll say 16 1/4 max. 16 will be fine. Probably 16. All right, there's 16 meters right there for the length. And so I need to think about how to cut this. So we're going to start ripping parts off of this. Because, again, it's going to be so much quicker if I don't have to reinvent the wheel here. But, you know, these are cool. I like the fact that they work with gravity. That's all neat to me. The problem becomes that, again, they just have too many sub-bodies. And that is a problem. And then these truck setups are what I need to make this functionally run. And this here, where do I want to split this? So I'm going to split this here to start with. I want to go one more from there. I think there maybe. Yeah. And I'm just going to extend this out to make sure I get everything. And the top should be good there, where it was. All right, so let's cut this. And I think we'll go to the end there. And then what I'll do is I'll put it here, and then we'll figure out capacity. Let's do that next, because that's going to kind of inform exactly its size. Right. And what we'll do here is we don't need the middle section of this. We just need those can float and show me where 53 feet is. Okay. I'm gonna look for microcontrollers before I start destroying stuff I need. So it looks like most of them are here. That battery I need. All right. Then we have micros there. All right, so that's all part of that. All right, good. All right, so we'll take some necessary componentry and we'll move it out. These micros here need to come out. All right, good. Not gonna be able to fit a large one widthwise, I don't think. Nope, it's fine. No, it can fits. All right. We just got to see about the ramping of it. I kind of like the ramping of this, so I think what we'll do is we'll do small ones. And then I can go below once we get some clearance here. So that can go. That needs to stay. That needs to stay. That needs to stay. That can go. And that can stay for now. And then there's two choices to make. One, do we want this so that it so that they're pre-cold? And I would say the answer is yes. Meaning that they're already chock full of coal, because generally the way I do this, I don't fill them. I spawn them full, and then this will still give me the ability to pour in the top if I want to, so. All right, and then so that needs to either push one this way or two to the right. So I'm thinking, I'm leaning back more towards two to the right. All right, so there we go. That's got our length looking pretty good there. It's probably a little bit on the long side, but definitely think it's a little on the long side. Let's cut 3 out. Because I'm not really accounting for, like, it should go from here, so whatever here is to the end here should be about 16. Just 16 and a quarter, that's about perfect. So I like that. That'll work. All right. We got the length figured out there. All right. Trying to think where this would finish there. They do square up much earlier, so I think I'll keep this squared up. So it should be one off of there. Yeah, like even the one I'm looking at, like it squares up right here, so we could just square it up. See how I like that look? Squares up like that. I think I do want to continue these though, and then the problem is it needs a should be like that. That works better. All right. All right, that looks pretty good there. And then we'll square in the middle. That's good. All right, good. And then I need to count off some bracing here. So I got to find the middle. All right, that is 59, which is good. So be 30 minus 2, 28. No. $30. 22. See what this is there. That is 5. And a 4 in the middle. That's not too bad. That cuts up pretty nicely. What's this over here? 5. Okay, yeah, so it'll be only the middle section that's different, which is fine. That's good. I like that. All right. All right, good. So that's looking pretty good so far. All right, so that looks pretty good there. All right, I'm digging that so far. That's fine. All right, so let's start figuring out more storage. Can I cut out here? No. Okay, can't cut there. Can't cut any of this. No, I can. Okay, where can we start cutting is the question. There. Okay, can't start cutting there. So let's... That's all good there. This shit here. I don't know what that's about. Cross brace, so that should be in there. Okay. All right, so that's good. And then we can start putting some more down here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go with ducts. And the ducts should have some coal already in them. bit of counting to do here. All right, let's count some layers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, 3, 33, plus 4 more is going to be 37. 37. 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 times 3 is going to be 57. 94 total. 94 times 27, that's 2538. 2538, all right. $25.38. All right. That's for bottom dump 2538. I could probably space that a little bit, but we'll do it backwards. All right, bottom dump 2538. I want to step the D back a little bit there. That's better. Bottom dump 2538. That's how big the dump is, so it just makes it easier. I don't have to remember the numbers. M was for multi-dump. This is just bottom dump there. All right, good, good. 45 to 20-foot bays, Sergeant. Yeah. All right, so that's we got most of that going. I gotta do hoppers. Trying to see how I want to finish this out. I could go one lower too. That could really increase the cap on this too. I could go down another level, which I think I'm gonna do. What's that again? 11, I think. Jesus Christ. I'll do it this way. It'll be quicker. So it should be 33. Yeah, 11. All right. Yeah, so 33. 33. I'm not doing that in my head. 33 times 27 plus 25, 38 is 3429. And I think we're going to shrink them up a little bit. 3429, huh? What's this? 4, that's 8, 9. If I cut 6 out of there, it'll be a 3 bang in the middle. I do feel it's a little big. I don't think any important components. No, they're right there, so... That's better size-wise. I gotta recount the reinforcements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5. See what this will divide into. 24. Yep, so that'll be the new pattern there. All right. Makes it a little bit more reasonable sized, I think. I see. I want to do this or that. I have to do that. Okay, that's fine. All right, so that's good. Let's count them up again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16. All right, that's 16. 16. And then we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 16. So 2 sets of 16. That's 32 times 3. times 27, that's 2592 plus 4. 2592 plus 4. 4 times 27 plus 2592 is 2700 on the nose. I like that. All right, 2700 on the nose. All right, good, good, good. All right, 2700. All right, 2700. That's good. That's a good number. That's not ridiculous. It's also a little bit more than one trailer load of the 45 footer. The 45 footers, I think, about is 2250. So it allows me to throw a whole trailer in here and not have to worry about spilling. So that's good. I like that. Gotta repaint this here. Okay. All right. Let's not act the fool there. Slidey bullshit. Come on. And then this was cut out. I cut that out, and then I put this in here. Change this later if I don't like it, but it should be fine. All right, that looks pretty good. I think I'm going to put a hard line up here, but that's going to be a pain in the ass to cut through because of the way I did it. Yeah. It's all right. All right, let's read some. Yeah, I wanted to chop it down. Three was too big. Like I said, I would like to get one trailer in there, not because the problem is I try to port two trailers in, two trailers won't fit, and then you know, I this kind of tells me, hey, be careful, you're running out of space. So. All right, and then the guts can go in. I need to replumb a couple things. Let's do the drops first. So, need at least, where's the lowest point? Right there. That's in line with the lowest point of the trailer, so that's fine. Of the car. Why can't I get this color? Give me this darker color, you scoundrel. Why the hell does this not match? Oh, because it's 1 over too much. Alright, it's right there. Yeah, I'm not digging that. I'm trying to find something I like better. Let's not go crazy. Couple designs I'm looking at for kind of the drop doors, and I'm trying to keep them so they're not actually dropping. I'm not going to go too precious with it because I can always change it later if I don't like it. I think that's pretty good. I mean to do that, I'll tell you that much. Okay. Let's see if I can put funnels under those. I may not be able to. Nope, not with those blocks there. That's fine. Okay. A 1x4 is not going to be enough to get that to roll. Really want to put them there too. I want a pretty rapid drop rate, so. I'm not sure I like any of this, but I need it functional too, so. I need the drop area to be pretty small, but I also need it to, I want it to drop pretty quick, so. Yeah, having 6 will help with that. There's 6 right in the middle there. And that's probably pretty good for the area that we have. It's that 1, 2, 6. Yeah, so it's an even spot too. Not my favorite, but it works for now, I guess. The other thing I could do is just cut some space out to get this not as tall. Cut some capacity out. Yeah, I don't like this. All right. Okay. Or don't cut the thing. What the hell? Why is that cutting it? I cut the inside of it and cut the outside too. Okay. Alright, so what I think we're going to do is we will go. Let's see. 6 times 27 is what? 162. 2700 minus 162 is 2538. We're back to 2538. That's good. All right, let's build up the infrastructure the way I want it to look, and then we'll move from there. All right. Jesus Christ, if the camera would work, I'd be in great shape here. not gonna fit there with that like that. I don't want to cut that much, so. There's also triangle ducts, which I think are better, so let's try that. Might make that work. So let's check on these triangle ducts. So they kind of go like this. Delete these so they're out of the way. At least 2 in there. This music's annoying. Are these in line with it? Not really. Shit. That's not helpful either. Can go there, can go there. I gotta see if they'll fall down a 4 slot. Let's see if they'll fall down a 4. I need it to be reliable too. I don't want to lose a bunch of coal. Coal is a lot of work for not a ton of money, so want to make sure I don't lose any. All right, let's you spawn the thing or what? Can I not spawn it? There it is, alright. Alright, so they're not gonna fall if they're not being pushed, so that's good to know. Trying to wait for this coal to go away, but I don't think it's going to. Alright, that's definitely sloped enough that won't be a problem. Let's see what the measurement on this is. 9. Kind of prefer this anyway, and that fixes a lot of the problems, so. Problem is I need the slope off those 2s there, and then if I do it this way, I don't need to have the drop off, and I get some capacity back. Nope, just do those, please. Christ, come on, just do what I'm asking you, scum. There it is. All right. How the hell did that get shortened again? Okay, that's right. All right, that's the way it's got to be. I can't take that at all. Shit. That's why I did it that way. What we could do is this way. See if this works all right. Make sure that flows all right, and then if it does, I think we'll be good with that. All right, good. They're starting to disappear. Let's give it a sec. Let those disappear. Drink a drink. Much as I like having flappy doors and everything that open, it's just extra subgrids we don't need. I think one subgrid set we can get rid of too is these bumpers. They're independent, which is good, but that's 4 bodies. Maybe cut them down, but right now, let's just keep them. See if I can push this back, get out of that coal pile. Brakes are on. If I could see, we're in great shape here. And that's gonna that's gonna come apart. That should be fine. Yep, that's good. All right, that'll work. Let's get that in. That's the 6 that I was planning on deleting anyway, so we can just do that. And then this here can go away to make the gap bigger. That will help. Can do this. And do that so we don't lose any someplace silly. That'll work. That good. The hell did that do? Alright, just do it again then. Why don't you, scoundrel? Alright, let's see. That's okay, that's good. That's that funnel. Alright, good. So that's the 2 there, and the channels meet in the middle. They'll fall on their proper sides. That's fine. Okay, that's good. And this should be good. Alright, now we need to connect. So this is the crank pipe there. Where's that going? This is an air pipe. That's an air pipe. This here is what? That needs the pressure. Needs this and the gear on there. I need to reroute this. Okay. Wrong way. I pulled you away and you went this way, you scoundrel. Do that, or I could shoot it through the chassis, which I might do. Alright, let's just wrap this up. I don't want to be too precious with it and take a million years to do this shit. I think these are all going literally back where they were. Which is convenient. But alright, nothing else is hanging out. Let's see, we had 6. 6 times 27 is 162. 2700 minus 162 is 50. 2538. Alright, 25. 538. Alright, 2538 there. Okay, that's good. Alright, that works out pretty well. I think the color is pretty good there. That's all lined up and everything set up. Let's make sure everything looks good. Alright. What's that go to? That goes to door button, so I don't even need that shit anymore. Door, those don't need to be there anymore. What's that? Door. Yeah, those can all go. Where's that on the post here? I just don't want to screw with the electricity and have to redo that. Come on, give me this, you skip. Oh, stop. Do this. Check the electricity, make sure I didn't cut anything I needed. That I don't need. These. That's fine. And then this is going to go to the funnels here. Okay. Door. See you later. Alright, that cuts that shit out. I don't need that anymore. Alright, good. Make sure all the electricity is good. I think that looks pretty good. That doesn't get geared. That doesn't need it. What's that? That is the electric for that. It's a flip switch, doesn't need it. Alright, good. Alright, coal, copper. It's not a 53 anymore. Let's go back. Measure it. 14 meters. 45, perfect. I like the 45 better. All right. Coal hopper car 45. All right, that's good. Alright, the 53 can go away. The 45 is good. Long live the 45. Alright, that looks good. We got that done. That took forever. Hour 22 to do that, but that's not bad. That'll be helpful. Like before, each car had 3 doors. The 3 doors were no 4 doors. 4 doors, which was 4 subgrids added to it. So we've taken off 4 subgrids, which was good. And then let's see what's in here if I can. All right, that's good. Yeah, so that helps a little bit. That's going to simplify it quite a bit. So that's good. That's a good day's work there. That's good. I'm happy with that. All right, let's see what else I want to do. I want to kind of get some more fun shit going here. Why don't I poll you guys and see? I got a couple ideas. Let me start a poll. Let's see. Quad bike. I don't know how to get rid of yes, no. I can't get rid of yes, no. That's weird. I think what else I need. I got one. I'm gonna add. Quad bike is something I was thinking would be cool to have for bopping around. Quad bike. I'm trying to think what else I want to build. Do quad bike. Lua boat screen. There's a poll. Ignore the yes, no. I don't know how to get rid of those, so it's just. All right, let's see. Let's start looking at this blowout valve. Something's wrong with this. Just an ATV, yeah. Something in the t-test logic about the blowout valve. It's not the end of the world. I don't really need to do it. Let's start concepting a quad bike anyway. Let's see. So I haven't played with this at all, so since it came out. Oh, stop it. Jesus Christ. I barely got anything on there yet. Because the stuff like this is so much it's very much helped with the fact that we can stack some nodes now, because before it was tough to get the spacing on this stuff. It's just too tight. Let's see. I know something I want to screw with here. All right, so my hybrid car, this thing is efficient as hell, and it's a one-cylinder, I believe. I can't really tell from here, but it's a one-cylinder. I think it is. Look, see if I can get in there and actually see the thing. No, it's a two-cylinder. All right. Let's play with this car real quick. Because I can shrink this up by 3. Perfect. All right. So that's, shit. Why is that not stackable there? Because I already stacked it? Well. Oh, that's gotta be like that. That's why. Okay, I'm trying to figure this out here. Why? Let's put composites there, and let's stack these up. Okay, those are stacked. Yeah. Okay, so that's helpful. Okay, that shrinks that. Steering stability can shrink by 1. Because it needs physics and it needs the seat. That's shrunk. Attack speedo goes down to 1. Okay, good. Alright, so I'm trying to make a micro for hybrids, because this is a really good hybrid. It just uses very little power. So if I can get some of the componentry out of this, that's in good shape. All right, and then this is the motor in here. So it's running a gen and then electric drive on both axles. Because like I don't have space for piping, so that's part of it. And then if you look, exhaust goes straight out, and then I have a, let's delete these. These would be in the way. So I have a scoop for the air manifold, and then I have nothing, I don't believe, for cooling. Fuel tanks right there. Yes, that's pretty compact. I think that's all the microcontrollers pretty much, right? Let's see what's that. Electric battery, small, dial. I do have an instrument panel. That should go with us, so we'll take the whole dash. Stop. Dash can go with. Trying to make more modules so that I can do this stuff more quickly. That's fine. Anything else I need out of this? Not really. Those are the important components. All right, let's go ahead and we'll take these and dress these up. Try and make modules so that I can more easily just, like when I want to build, say, a hybrid like I'm doing right now. Oh my god, what did that just do? I hate it when it does that shit. Fuck me in the ear, god damn it. Ugh. I'd autosave that. That's fantastic. I just lost all that. Let's see if it's in the backups. Nope. Christ, that sucks. Save that. It's not still selected somewhere, is it? I moved that instead of pasting it, which is, I should just pasted it down. Ah, it sucks. All right. Take me like 2 seconds to fix all that, but it's just annoying. Alright, so let's check all the connections. That's fine, that's fine. Key start, I can deal with later. That's fine. What's all that? That's a relay. That's okay. Alright, this is the stuff I want. Let's see if we can't do this right this time and not mess this up. Alright, copy. New. Alright. Alright, it's a hybrid module. Let's see if we can't get something working here. With the hybrid modules. trying to see if I can get a 1-cylinder to be worthwhile. 1-cylinders tend to be pretty tough to make work, so. I run it without the gearbox for now. I never do this, but I was thinking of tying it in using the pipe for liquids as well, but you don't like doing that. Okay, let's get a lot of the basics there. What's this distribution look like? A little bit forward, the distribution for weight needs to be. This is why, like, I think it's huge if they would even reduce the size of micros even more. Because, like, imagine all the things we could do if they reduce the micros more. Like, where we could put shit, that would just be fantastic. Alright. Because, like, we could build some really proper tiny stuff if they do that. Okay, there we go. That's it on that panel. Yeah, physics sensor. It's okay, buddy. Let's configure the seat up. 6 is going to be start, I imagine. It's usually what it is. The coal. Let's see. Alright, it was a key start before. Key. For now, we'll just do 6 into there. Did I tie the motor in? Motor's tied in. Two, 6 is the start. That's fine. What is 6? Oh, 6 is reverse in here. That's why we're having problems there. All right. 5. How's it going there, Rakai? How are you? It's hybrid. I see why we're so sluggish at the moment. See if I have a motor limiter on here. Where's the motor output? Okay, right here. So let's see. This is gonna be 2 -x. All right, that's just the reverse there. Clamping that. Okay, max motor value. Let's go up to 1 for now to play with it. All right. Front wheels are not spinning, so I can see why that's not happening. I don't think the front wheels are being powered by that motor, which is weird to me. Will it not go? It's got to tee off the tank, I bet. That's probably what it is. All right. I haven't done this before, piping liquids through, because I don't like it because it's not realistic, so. But for compact nature, I'll screw with it a little bit. Yeah, that's it. That's 80 miles an hour. Yeehaw, yeehaw. Oh no. Alright, so a couple things. Steering. There's the steering controllers on this side. Let's go to p-value of 0.6, so I have more steering. Let's gear up this gen a little bit. We'll do a 3-2, 2-1. We'll make it channel 3 maybe. 3's fine for that switchover. We'll electrify that. Alright, so see the wobble, that means that new p-value I put in there is a little bit high, but it's much more dynamic steering. So 6 might be a little bit too high. I just had a, yeah, see the wobble? What are we going for? Ah! I was trying to do a speed check when I ran off. Holy mother! Why am I still sliding like crazy? What is going on here? What? Why? I got knocked into the ground as well. Right. Yeah, that's the one from the tutorial, the steering controller. Power is just coming from the electric. Diesel electric means that it's recharging the battery, and the electric's providing the power. So we can do some things here. I don't need this ridiculous speed. So let's see. Max motor value of 1. Let's do 0.5 because eventually it will get up to speed, but it will just take longer. That's good. And then 6 was too much. We had 3. Let's do... That's more reasonable. We're still doing about 70 miles an hour right now. Steering's better now. Steering's about right on point where I want it. Check the battery. 81% battery. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm not recharging while you see the volts is in a discharge. Let's go full tilt again and see if we recharge when I do, what do I do, 4? Nope, 3. 3. Alright, we're still discharging with the 2-1. See how fast it recharges when we stop. Alright, so it's recharging. Not that fast. Alright. Yeah. Alright, let's try some things to make it a little bit more fuel efficient here. Let's go ahead and kick the gen up to 5231. Just give that a quick run. So to put in perspective, the other hybrid I had, it had 2 gearboxes. I can't remember, I didn't look at the ratios. And it had 2-cylinder. The problem is when in 1 cylinder, it's not really gonna probably be enough. So we're losing. I'm gonna press 3. You hear the engine revved way down, and we're discharging. So we're discharging at negative 0.25 if I hit 3 again. So it's doing better with a lower gear ratio because we're just not spinning that gen fast enough. And what are we doing for speed? We're still doing about 60 miles an hour. Doesn't look fast, but 60 something miles an hour. And we got up the top here. Let's see, battery's about 60%. All right. A couple things I can do here. We'll do 3295 on that. And I'm gonna try this. We'll make this 4. Do you see this? The speed and acceleration has gone down because of that gearbox, which should help a little bit with the charging. So that's doing -3, 4. Let's switch that with 3. All right, so definitely that's about our best gear ratio for recharging on a 1-cylinder motor. Showing about a -2.5 discharge, and then let's see if that gets better when I switch the gear ratio on the drive motor. Yes, no, not much, not by much. It's negligible. It was -0.26 and it went to -0.22. So it is better. See what my speed did? Still doing 60 miles an hour. See if we can make that better. We're moving in the right direction. One cylinder's hard. Let's try something. All right, hybrid 4-wheeler. Let's go ahead and let's... See that? Okay, so this part of the problem is some of the size of this shit. Big one is transmission microcontrollers, but I have not played with this since we got the new nodes we can move. We can go like this. So like, see how that just literally shrunk this whole thing in half. That's how big that update was. So like, I kind of get annoyed when you see all these people be like, devs, game's dead. Devs aren't putting out any updates. It's like, they just put out some of the, frankly, the best updates in a while, as far as I'm concerned, with making it so you can stack nodes, because it's like this is the world we live in now with stacking nodes and making things a lot smaller. Yeah, it's like, here, let's just go through for a second to show like how small we can get some of these panels because of this new stacking. Literally, that's how big it is now. See, I gotta count them out here. I'm gonna move them all up, put them all back in there. Like, that's what we're working with now. Like, that's how easy it is to shrink some of these panels. Like, you can see that's how much space I'm gaining back right now from that update. This one's pretty much tough to get smaller. These could go smaller by 1. No, they can't. If I did it with the composite, they could. This one here, lights get smaller by... it's easier if I just pull them out of there and put them back in. You start to see how much smaller this stuff becomes. Transmission's down to this size. That's important for me to be able to make engines or make these types of vehicles, because a transmission, once I get a transmission down to like 1 block, we're in good shape here. The engine controller, I can reconfigure some of this so that it's smaller. I can get rid of a lot of the fluff that I don't need. Doors I don't need. Engine gauges and lights I don't need. All that crap I don't need, so. I need my transmission, though. This is still big, so can't do much about that. But yeah, that the ability to really decrease the size of the panels is going to be huge, because transmission was always a big one. Lighting was often a big one. And that really cuts the size of your build down. You start, cascading that along. Let's see what we can do here. Find a place to attach this sucker. Alright, let's see. What is that? That is steering stability controller. We want that. Need to get a transmission pumped into this. We'll move the engine forward. We'll get rid of that. Get rid of this. Gearbox goes. Battery can go the front axle here. For now. Fuel tank, I'll deal with them later. Alright, good. We need to get this transmission in here. Because anything that they do that helps make things more compact is very, very good. Yeah, I got a little bit of an issue with this here. So actually, the better vehicle for me to screw with is going to be... Let's just do proof of concept, see if I can get this to work. And then we'll screw with it after that. Alright, I don't know who clicked on that to want it to go big like that, but somebody did, it wasn't me. Because I think that's where it's like, anytime you can miniaturize is good, because it's like, even for huge builds, if you're able to make it smaller, it has benefits, right? You know, any build you can, you know, you have the choice to make smaller parts is beneficial. So that's got the full transmission in it. That's good. I gotta move some parts around, but I'll check with chat in a second. I see it moving. You know, those are frankly some of my, I think the most important things. Anytime they can make stuff smaller, really is beneficial. That's on the front axle now. That's not a good spot for it. It's not the end of the world, though, actually. Like, anytime I have the ability to put a full-fledged transmission in something, I love it. I do have some slipping transmissions where essentially the clutch advances very slowly, and you can do like 1 or 2 gears. So I have some methods to do that. I'll show you a build. I was gonna pull that build up, but I decided I want to keep going with this before I do that. But I can show you that build where it slips the clutch. You know, IRL, you'd burn out your clutch doing that. But you know, we don't have to worry about that in game. And so I could, with that build, I only need 2. I think it's 1 or 2 gearboxes. Yeah, I'll fix that in a second. All right, let's try the engine micro. Let's start stripping this down. All right. So we can get rid of some stuff. So we don't need, I can get rid of alternator. I can get rid of pump clutch. Pump clutch. Alternator's gone. Engine info can go. Starter can go. What's from transmissions just for the neutral. Variable brakes could go somewhere else, but I'm going to keep them where they're at. All right, let's start moving stuff around here. What's that? All right, that gets that down pretty small. What's Sweet Pie screaming about? Sweet Pie screaming about something. Go check on Sweet Pie for a second here. She's screaming about something. Are you just talking? She's just talking. All right, let's check some chat here. Let me look. What are you talking about, Sergeant? With the screw up? MFTS huge. You imagine the size of microchromy. Yes, with the video and audio, so you can stack those. So especially you start getting in video and audio stuff, it really shrinks it even more. So that was like one of the best updates I've done in a long time. It's like I put up some comment. Of course, negative Nancy gonna be negative no matter what they do. Period. They're just negative people. But like they were talking about, like I was like, these are some of the best updates. Like somebody was like, game's dying. It's like they put out recently like some of the best updates they've ever put out, and people are like, call that a good update, yeah. It's like, yes, like literally, you can make so much more stuff because of these recent updates, and you have everything's more compact, which allows you to build more stuff and put it in tighter places, and things that were not possible before are now possible, and that, yes, I call that a good update. That's fantastic. Like putting a Kraken in, I don't give a shit. You making it so that I can build things I've been wanting to build for a long time. That's great. And I think a lot of those people don't understand like how you actually keep a community involved is like you can see it when like new stuff comes out, people jump back on and play. And like when they've been trying, they really like somebody like really wanted to build a motorcycle and couldn't because the parts were too big, and now they can build a motorcycle because the parts are smaller. And that's the sort of stuff that, yeah, it brings people back. All right, there we go. All right, let's hook some stuff up here. I don't like the hierarchy of that. What was that? Oh, is this just like an overdrive? No, that needed to be connected. It just wasn't connected. All right, good. Those need to be connected. Gear. This is backwards. So, that was a huge update, and yeah, it's one of those things like you look back at the physics sensor. I have a physics sensor here. I would literally not in the case of what I'm doing with it now, but like I would literally need, many different parts to be able to do that. I'm trying to see where 3 is. Which one's reverse? One of them's reverse, I think. That's it. Reverse is the first one. Or second one. Second is reverse. So whatever I'm going to do is reverse. So I got to do 1 like that. And then reverse. Let's say reverse for now is 6. Okay, that's good there. Let's do trigger for park brake. Fuel manifold is there. Air manifold is here. Bat. Where did I put that? Clutch. Hell is that now? Right here. Okay. Like I said, anytime I can shrink the footprint of a build, it's great for everything because you can do it on big builds, you can do it on small builds. Small builds that were not possible before become possible, and big builds you just have more and more space. It makes it cleaner and easier. Engine. All right, let's go ahead. Up down should be reset 100% for shifting. Like, look at this compact little Johnny. Like, the seats are new. All this stuff is great parts. What did I say was a starter now? What? Okay, I gotta look at what's controlling this here. You know, like, all you need to do is go through one by one, go through the updates. You know, they're all on one page, and see, like, what have they added here? What have they added there? Why? Okay. Oh, 6 is, I put 6 as reverse. That's why. Okay. That's why. Let's start. Start is 5's park break. 6 should be start. All right, 6 is start. 5's park break. Start. Oh, you know why? Because I took start off here, so I don't have an auto shut off with the starter. So I'm just gonna buzz it with a different button. So I got to think of that. All right, that's what happened there. So I still have to press 6 to prime it. All right, 5 is gonna be starter. And what else did I need? Did I need something else? I don't think so. Oh, reverse. Reverse, and then let's get 4 as reverse. Okay, that will do it. All right, I didn't hook 5 to the actual starter, so I got to do that. So let's go to 5 is going to be starter, and it's going to be push. Bunch of things you can do to like really shrink these builds down. There we go. Like the batteries too, I can use a hard point, and that goes down to 1. You know. Oh, why is the brake set to 1? Alright, the variable brake is set to 1. I gotta look at that. Did I have a park brake on that? Is that? Yeah, okay, that's what that is. Let's make that, do that. Alright. It's tough with the 1 cylinder. It really is. The gearbox is screwed up. Alright, I gotta go check out the gearboxes here. So let's save this again. The gearbox order is screwed up. I gotta check it out on this. Alright, let's see. 1 is the forward one. Let me check the ratios here. 3, 2, 3, 1. 3, 2, 3, 1 is 1. Okay. 2 is going to be reverse. Is that really? Gear 2, why is that going to reverse? See, I don't know if this one's screwed up or not. So it's 1, 2. Okay, 2 is definitely reverse. 3. Okay, and then that one's a standard. Okay, let's run it like this, see what happens. 1, 2. Alright, let's try that, see what happens. We'll try this one out too, make sure that works. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll knock the whole ratio down here. So we have... That's pointing towards the engine, the last one. And let's do that for now. That should knock it down by quite a bit. So I'll show you the build this actually should be kind of working off. What doesn't look right? Because I'm trying to do this off a one cylinder. One cylinder is very limited power. Alright, so I'm gonna do this. Because I'll show you the build that this should be kind of using as its transmission. Let's see. This. So this little rescue cart here, it essentially uses a slipping clutch transmission. So we're gonna find. See how big the steering panel is, Jesus. Where's the transmission in this one? Trying to find the transmission connections here. Okay, it's in there, huh? Okay. What is that then? What is this engine shit here? Do I have two of them? What the fuck? Alright, let's go take that for a drive. I'll show you how this works. So essentially what this does is it lets the engine rev up really high, then it very, very slowly applies the clutch, which would burn out your clutch IRL. Alright. You see how slowly it puts in the clutch? And if this thing moves like stink, like it's moving like stink. That's 50 miles an hour. Oh shit, like I'm moving too fast for my own good. Like this thing goes like 70 miles an hour, it's because it slips the clutch. It doesn't do like a glitch slip. What it does is it slips the clutch so that the engine can't stall. And so it's a very slow application of clutch. So like if you did that IRL to a real engine, you'd burn your engine up. So what is this going to here? Okay, it says stormworks basic car. It's the transmission. Okay. see. Alright, this is going to be problematic because I can't cut this down much. I have, what? Many gears and a variable brakes. Variable brakes on here. I'm going to take variable brakes off of here. Okay. Because this slipping clutch is much much better for what I'm doing. Okay, and then we can cut this down by a considerable amount. RPS clutch. Fuel, air, engine. RPS, that's good. Alright. What else do I need off this? That is steering. We can use the same steering system we have on there. I don't need that. Linear speed sensor. Constant number 1. Alright, good. So that should be... This is like the better system to be running on this vehicle. Because I need to slip the clutch because this has a... Two something cylinder? Maybe more than that. It's like a 4 maybe. I definitely need to slip the clutch though. I'm not going to get moving, so. Let's see. Christ. Need to get the transmission out of there. It's got one fewer gear in the transmission, so I need that. This is going to the clutch side. So what I'll actually do is this, just to make sure I don't screw it up. As much as like I kind of like the size of the clutches we have in game, to if they were to make it so you could put like 4 ratios in there, imagine how much more compact you could get stuff and miniaturize stuff. That'd be cool. Okay. That's the transmission, I believe, there. Steering's right there. Okay. And I'm missing variable brakes. I can get that put back in, so. Do that for now, and then I need to put variable brakes in, so. We'll go without brakes for now. Alright, that's transmission all in. Let's get the electricity going. Okay, that's good, and then... Gear 4, what the hell? Does it have an extra one it doesn't need? What the hell's going on here? Did I cut a gearbox that I didn't want to cut? Okay, so only 3 of the gears are connected. Gear 4 is not connected. Okay. which we've got seat. I can either put variable break there or do another panel, which is I think what I'm going to do. And then 4 is going to nothing. 4 is going to nothing, so that's a goner. Bingo. All right, that helps that out. I like that. There we go. All right, good. And then... Three's, I think, reverse. So, look. Three is reverse. Okay. Which I theoretically could get rid of as well and just use a push button if I needed to. And then let's hook up these fuel, air, clutch, RPS on the engine, seat. Make sure this operates the same way. Yeah. That's okay, good. Check a couple things for controls on this. Oof, there's a mess in. All right, 2 is what? 2, okay, that's good RPS there. What are we starting this sucker with? So if I get on the seat, it's starting. That was doing. Okay, if I get on the seat, it's starting the PID, which is fine, and then I have to push a button to start the engine. That works. All right. That's the starter still. And then I can just get on the seat for that. All right, that should work. It is a one-cylinder engine. I think this is part of my problem. Just one cylinder is pretty damn small, and it's just tough to get a one cylinder to work for you. Yeah, like I couldn't even get the hybrid to work with a one cylinder. Let's see if we can't crack this up to 2 cylinders somehow. But like this little cart is zippity doo dah fast here. So. All right. Can I pack a cylinder in here? Survey says. Oh shit! I didn't even hook the front axle back up either. That would have to be where that would go, or I slide it forward again 1. Leaning towards that. I could do, yeah, I'll do it like that. I could push that back and do a cylinder at the ass end too. That's going to be better to do it that way. All right. Yeah, eventually you just get to the point where, yeah, the engine's just going to be too small. It's not going to do what I need to do. And we're there. Stop. Don't do that. Thank you. Yeah, I've tried one cylinders before, and they're just too weak. It's hard to get a one cylinder to work. Be powerful enough for you. Don't do that. Flick my camera on more. I just really love it. Can't get enough of it. Yeah, I love working on these tiny little builds. I think it's a lot of fun. It's just it really takes a lot of thinking to get the stuff to sit right where it's supposed to be, and I like that element of it. It's good. No. All right, let's try that with a bigger cylinder. That's more likely to succeed. Just was too tiny of an engine. My steering's not hooked up anymore. I don't know why. Something's up with that. Oh, it did because I deleted it. Fuck. I didn't mean to delete it. Shit. I gotta get that back. Okay. What did I take it off? The hybrid? Doesn't really matter, but And we can add brakes here. That'll work. Point, what did I say? 4, and then this is gonna be that's good. That worked out for the best now that I've got that back in there, so. Alright, good. It's already moving like stink. That's in first gear, so. It's gonna move like stink. It's gonna move like... I'm in second gear, it's moving like stink. It's cruising. Like, this is all possible because of that latest update with size. Like, I wouldn't be able to look at these microcontrollers in there. A nice cruise gear. Moves like stink, I tell you. Yeehaw, holy mother. We could probably drop the whole gear set down one. Perfect, I like it. Alright, let's read chat in a second here. There's also fluid flow rate in the parts. When did they do fluid flow rates? What are you talking about? When was that? Sergeant's back. Which update? Yeah, I'm gonna put a linear speed so I can see speed on it, but that was moving like stink. Alright, let's see. Make sure I can see it. So let's drop the let's do a run. See the speeds. My upper gears are not very useful because it's not fast enough, so. So we're doing, that's about 30, a little more than 30. About 45-ish. Yeah, about 45, 46 miles an hour. That's 50. And that's going to lug out in the last gear. So we need to drop the whole gear set down. Hopefully, let's see if I set it up right so I can do that. Get rid of 4 is not reverse. Six. There we go. Let's see. What was I gonna do? Check the gear sets. All right. 9511321165. This is it right here. That's facing toward the engine. So I need to bring these gears down. So I could do it in one ratio by just doing this. Okay. So last time I think, what was it? It was about 30, so it's like showing 16. So we expect this to be lower because I'm trying to make sure we can get to the higher gears. So yeah, so it was 16, it's now 13. Because it made the last gear pretty useless, and this is going to let it accelerate better too. Let's go on the highway. That's about 40. The other way we could make it go faster is make the wheels bigger. You know, that puts more stress on it. But like, that's one thing people don't understand is like the wheels are your final gear. The bigger your wheel, right? If you had an engine strong enough to move the same wheel and it was bigger, you would go faster. If you made this wheel smaller, you would go slower. Your wheel is your final gear. And what are we doing now? We're doing 40 miles an hour. Yeehaw, son. A little bit more than 40. And then this gear, these gears are pretty useless because the engine was too stressed. So by dropping that ratio down, and what we can do is flip it around and drop the ratio 6.5 the opposite direction if we need to. So currently we're doing about 46, 48 miles an hour, something like that. It'd actually be more than that, about 50. Then this is the gear that was not useful to us because it overstressed the engine. And now you see it's like an overdrive. It will eventually get up even faster. So there's 60 miles an hour. There's 62-ish miles an hour. So it's about 62 miles an hour. So, you know, let's say I wanted to get it down to 50 miles an hour, but I wanted to accelerate better. I'd turn that last gearbox backwards and I'd make it a 6.5 again. And that would drop all... Was the alligator there? I think I just saw an alligator. And so the other thing too is this motor under stressed? I can't see a crankshaft real quick. I can't see the crankshaft. It doesn't sound like it's turning that fast. So it's probably pretty under stressed, especially on the highway and overdrive. So the likelihood is this thing's gonna sip fuel, and it's gonna likely not need any cooling. We can try some air cooling. It's a pain in the ass though. It takes up too much space. Like one thing I'd like to see them add is, like, so I have a couple open cylinders here, and what they would be cool if they'd add is the ability to, like, put a module on there, kind of like a fuel manifold or an air manifold, but what you'd put is it would be a cooling manifold, but it would be an air cooling manifold, and it would be fins. And so it looked like, you know, fins on an air-cooled cylinder, and you'd have to put it on an open node, and that would take up node, but you could cool. You know, you could add some cooling to your system. But like the likelihood of me needing cooling on this is probably pretty damn slim. Like, we'll check the engine temp here. 75C. So we've been running for a while now, 75C. So like, very likely that, you know, you run out of fuel before you overheat. Doesn't look bad either. I think it came together pretty nicely. Like, I could slide some stuff back if I wanted to. I could slide some of that in. I can't slide. I can slide the engine back if I need to. But I'm not offended by the way it looks. Ah, offended by hitting shit. I need to drop down the steering needs to have a p-value of a little bit smaller, maybe like a 3.5. See how it jiggles? Just needs to knock that down a little bit. See if we can do this real fast. Nope, we're not gonna be able to. See if I can make it. It's a jump and a half here. Ugh. Yeah, it's too much. It's a fun little vehicle. You know, it has one passenger seat, so you can see doing some rescues with it. Yeah, that works out well. That's a cool little vehicle. All right, so it's got good speed on it. So one thing we could do is like, let's do a couple things here. So we kind of had the speeds clocked in there. Let's go ahead on the steering. And where are you at here, guy? So 0.4 is probably too high. Let's go to, why is my number lock off? 0.35, that's good. Let's see what else I want to do here. I'd lose that if I did that. So this is the other thing we can do to change the ratio up a little bit here. So again, if we wanted to do better acceleration, less top speed, we would cut this, flip it. And then we go in here, instead of 1.1, make it a 6.5. And now that will drop all the ratios again. So before, what was our top speed, like 60? And then if we go ahead and jump on this, this should accelerate better now. And so if you remember from my my first video of the modular engine tutorial series, I talk about how with the auto clutch you need to tune your clutch. So if you have a big powerful engine, you can apply the clutch very fast because it has a lot of torque, and especially if you have a flywheel, you can apply the clutch very fast because it conserves that energy. When you have something like this that needs to rev up high, you essentially let out the clutch slowly, and that will keep it revving up high, and you will start to move the vehicle. And then once the vehicle's moving, it's easy to keep moving. So like now we're at 11. There's 12. And so you'll see it accelerates a lot better now. We're going to lose some top end speed, but we accelerate better. Which frankly, like, we're not doing highway runs with a sucker where, you know, it's not meant or doesn't need to go 60. Let's say it went 45, is plenty fast, but it's more drivable. The other thing too is I could probably increase the max RPS on this and get a faster acceleration that way as well. So, I meant to read the speed before I spun out. And because it's a small motor, I gotta downshift to get it to speed back up. Can't just power through it. And we do want the top gear, which we're in now, to have a good overdrive. So we want it to put a little stress on the engine to decrease that RPS, so we're not burning tons of fuel and making a lot of heat. All right, we're doing just shy of 60 now. So it's 27 times 2, 40, 54, and another 5.4, so it'll be 59.4 miles an hour. So a little bit slower than it was, but it accelerates better. But you see how fast we're getting down there. It's very fast. All right, and then if we want to, again, let's increase the acceleration again. Let's go from 6.5 to 9.5. This should be even more acceleration, less top end. So it's like if you ever seen how people change the sprockets on their motorcycle? That's what we're doing. We're changing sprocket size, essentially, to either get more acceleration or more top end. So you see it's accelerating better now. We were at 11 last time. We're now at 8. And now we're around 11.8. 13. This is top gear. Let's see where top gear gets us. So that's about 40. So this is plenty fast as far as I'm concerned. We have much better acceleration. And so you can see how easy it is just to change that around, like we can move the gearbox down closer to 1 if we want to get a little bit more top speed. We can move it the other way if we want better acceleration and less top speed. And then our top speed here is around 40. It's pretty good. This is a fun little vehicle. You know, I like these tiny little vehicles that I can put on ships and helicopters, but also like I could no clip from base to base, or I could grab something small like this and just buzz around, you know? Let's see if there's a... I don't know if I have crates in this world or not, but I was going to see for my career if it was worth coming up here. So this has been a fun little project. But you can see how important that update was, where they made the parts small, where they made it so you can make the microcontrollers more compact. How's it going, Aaron? Good to see you. You like a semi-truck? Yeah. Did you post pictures of it recently? I thought I saw some pictures of a semi. Can't remember if it was yours or not. All right, so let's go ahead and... I think 3.2's... Let's do something real quick. Let's go 9.5. That's connected to the fuel, isn't it? I want to cut a cylinder again. I'm gonna cut a cylinder, see if I could go down to a one cylinder. One cylinder is real tough. It really is. Let's do this. Let's cut that cylinder. I'm gonna mute myself and take a phone call. Alright, I'm back. Just cutting down the size a little bit. So I figured I wanted to try a single cylinder, and it looks like it's working all right. So we'll play with this and see. Let's see what the alternator is doing. Do I have an alternator? Alternator's doing nothing because I don't have an alternator. So let's put an alternator on here. That would be helpful. All right, that's the alternator on. So I wanted to get it down to a single cylinder, and it looks like we were able to do that. Let's do... if I move that, I don't think I'll be able to put the fuel on there. All right, let's read some chat. Oh, you want to go back and work in your snowmobile? Yeah, snowmobile was fun. Nah, very nice, very nice. Yeah, it'd be cool to go back and work on the snowmobile. Oh yes, I want to go back and do the real PTO as well there, Sergeant. Yeah, the real PTO parts was another cool update. Lots of good stuff. So the top speed now is like around 24 to 30 miles an hour, which I'm happy with. Like, I don't need it super fast here. Because, like, I like the notion of having something with a single cylinder motor. That's more important to me than going. And the other thing, too, is, like, cut down the number of wrecks I have. I don't need to wreck this sucker everywhere I go. So the other thing too is, like, I talked about stability. Like, if I'm spinning out all the time, I need to move the CG forward, and so the CG is now pretty well forward, and that's helping with that. So we're in top gear here, doing about 50 miles an hour. It looks like. No, that's 24 miles an hour. That converted it. So we're probably doing around 30, 25. Yeah, 25.7. So that's not a bad top speed for this, for a single cylinder. Pretty well compact. I kind of like it. It's a fun little build. Alright, good. So let's save this, and then I'll do a couple things. I'm getting tired here. But, it's good to get that, definitely good to get the, what do you call it? The, oh, my brain. The coal car done, because we needed that for a career. I didn't get rid of the crankshaft, so I gotta slide that back. Let's play with this a little bit. That battery's gonna be a problem. I gotta move that. Moving that down lower is gonna help with center of gravity too, if I can do that. So move something lighter up than that. Put the tank, there it is. I do something new with the exhaust if I'm gonna be able to put an alternator on there. I don't know if I really need an alternator. I'm just starting. Just trying to miniaturize this. Getting smaller, I can get it just kind of like, I think part of the cool factor is getting this thing really compact. Again, that's like one of my favorite things, making real small stuff. Where do we need? So we need the center of gravity move aft. And so battery somewhere aft would be helpful. We're going to delete the battery, and we're going to do a hard point. Either square or straight. Just need a 1 by space for it. Which I am out of. Nope, I got a spot right there. Okay. All right, there we go. Why won't that go there? Why won't that fit there? What is that impeding? Is it the handlebar? I don't really need a panel, but yeah, it's the handlebar. Okay. Won't fit there either. Well, it fits there. That's weird. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I don't like that gap where it floats. That's not. I don't like that. Need something for the exhaust there. I can't do that then. Clutch, 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 clutch. Alright, that's good. Okay, let's make this. Let's start. That's got to start at what? 7. I could just make them all reads. What do I want to do? Let's look at this real quick. Should be able to put a write out on that. Yeah. Again, stackable. Yay. Composite output. Wow, this is a mess. Let's see. The other nice thing is, I wouldn't take in linear speed, but I can take in composite from the physics sensor. Stack it. All right. All right. So we want, let's see, 4. That's going to be, speed will be 2. The RPS there. Temp. And then, what do I want to do here? I want to do for the last one, temp, and then what? High temp, maybe? I think I have this stuff here ready for coolant. Alright, good. So that does that, and I can get rid of this. Figure something for that. And then the seat is gonna go. Oh shit! I can't do that now. That's fine. I don't have any rights on that anyway. Physics sensor. Where you at, there, guy? Alright, that's good. That's good. I'll shut the particles off on this too. RPM's not reading because it... You know, it's not as rambunctious and crazy as the one that was the 2-cylinder, but it's much more compact, still can hold 2 people. I think it's more usable, more reasonable. Burn a lot less fuel, be less likely to be warm. All good things. I know more particles there. Very good. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. All right. Very cool. Let's save it. All right, here's the 4-wheel. That's good. Very good. So if you guys who joined later, worked on this today. New hopper car. Had issues with the career game just because the smaller coal hoppers are... They had too many bodies. Like this here even has a lot of bodies. Not a ton, but it's got... These are independent bodies here. This is an independent body, so there's 3 in the front, 3 in the back, 6, 7 total. Before it had 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11. So it's quite a few more bodies. You know, so that was made it difficult to... that made it difficult on frames. This also has a good capacity here. I don't need as many. 2538. So that was a good work on there. But I think we'll finish up there. I'm kind of beat. But thank you guys for joining me. Let me see what we get for some chat here. Yeah, the real PTO parts I like to get back into. Try those. But thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you're new and you enjoyed it, consider subscribing. And I will see you guys in the next one.